that we're making and sharing and doing in our classroom. We've been using Book Creator to create our own books. Most recently, we're working on a project for Black History Month where they're doing biographies. And so the thing that makes this so engaging to my students is that it's a great combination of taking different resources, both digital and video and print, and putting it into something that they're very proud of. Even students on various reading levels are successful with that. And so that's been a lot of fun. And we're able to save those into our iBooks collection. We are doing a lot of neat projects, particularly in science. And one of the great ways that we have to get them to do reflective writing and talk about what they're learning and to show me what they know is to spend time on our kid blog. And that's so fun because they're able to take pictures and then blog about that and then share that with a huge wide audience. And then just the engaging action of getting responses back is very highly motivating for them. Because of the iPads and just some of the neat things that we're being able to do in the classroom, I have been seen as the technology expert. And so it's been a lot of fun to share that with other teachers who are trying to integrate the iPads and computers in a very meaningful way in their classroom. Those are some of the fun challenges that I have. It's been very engaging for my students, and it's really giving them a voice.
Okay, so I'm going to just open up the clock app on my iPad, and it's got a nice little timer. There are fancier ones we can do, but I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to introduce yourself to your neighbor if you don't know your neighbor already, and then talk about ways that you heard her discuss sharing student work in that video. Go. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know what I just saw. She just talked about
Okay. So my classroom attention signal is my hand like this, raised as a clenched fist towards the sky. You can raise your fist in solidarity for the learning revolution. No, we're not going to do that. But that seriously is my signal, and I tell my kids they can quickly glare at someone if they're not paying attention as the quiet signal's up and look right back at me. So we've got about, 50 people in this room. We're going to have a few folks share. We don't have time for everybody to share, right? And there's never basically enough time for everybody to share, and everyone's not going to share out loud. So what I'd like to do, just to kind of model what I would consider to be a basic fundamental of blended learning, is I'm going to create an interactive document that you can link to from your device, and then invite you to put your ideas into that document as other people are going to share. Now, I could have created this in advance, But I also didn't know I was doing this session until 20 minutes ago. But it's also good to just see how this works. And I'm not going to create this on my iPad, so I'm going to turn off my mirroring on my iPad. I'm using some software on my laptop called Air Server. I don't have a Apple TV in my classroom yet. Actually, I think my principal is ordering me one like this next week, which I'm kind of excited about. But this just makes my laptop into an Apple TV so that I can show my stuff, and my kids on our cart of 20 iPads can show their stuff as well.
Is this free?
Yes. Oh, no, sorry. Air Server is about $7 as a license, so I actually just bought it myself. Apple TV is about $100, and then there's other kind of things about connections and stuff with the audio and video and all that kind of stuff. There's another one that people will use called Reflector app, and so Reflector I think might have been the original one that was used for that. So, and here I'll do a fast ad. I'm doing 3-day iPad media camps, and I'll be doing another one before the 4th of July. And all the curriculum for those are available online, and the resource pages. I've got a lot of resource pages. Like there's all the iPad mirroring options in addition to Air Server, Reflector, VGA adapters, all that stuff. So that's iPad Media Camp. Okay, what I want to do is create a Google document, but it's going to be a ridiculous link, right? It's going to be super long. I need to make it easy and fast for everyone here to be able to get to that link. So the limit on a Google document, the last I read, was about 50 simultaneous users. I've actually found spreadsheets can work a little bit better if we're having, like I've had graduate and undergraduate students putting stuff into a document, and spreadsheets can handle more. I'm going to call this shared notes, sharing student work online, and today is the, what, 20th? 21st. Okay. So 21 February 2015. Okay. So I have just titled this as a Google document. It's blank. It doesn't have any sharing yet. Okay. Private only to me. So I'm going to click on that share link, and I'm going to say I want a shareable link. Now, this looks a little different because I'm on my own Google account. When you use Google Chrome, you can add multiple accounts and switch people. So I have we're Google Apps for Education and UConn, so I could be on my UConn account, and I have a couple other accounts that we could do as well. But when you do it with your Google Apps account and you say get a shareable link, by default it says anyone in the district can share it, and you have to change it to say anyone can view. This is the link I want to share with you, and of course there is no way any of us are even going to attempt to type that in. So turn to your neighbor and tell them the best ways you think Wes could share this right now. I have some ideas, but I just want you to talk about that. What's the best ways to share that link? Okay? How many of you said web link shortener? Okay, bit.ly, tiny URL, goo.gl, okay? Has to be unblocked in our school, okay? So for us, that means goo.gl, or My Big Campus has one that's unblocked, but like practically speaking, we have different filtering for kids than for teachers. So that's a way I could do that. What else could I do? QR code. I can create a QR code to share it. Have I already given you a link for today?
Yes.
I did, right? I can put that link on our website. In fact, I think that's usually the best way. If you've got a website you use for your class, I call it a home base, put that link on there. Is this something that's important for teachers to be able to do? Absolutely. All of us need to be able to navigate this. Here's a link. I want to share it readily and not have people, waste time getting there. So I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to go to our page for this session, okay, which was, what do we say the link was? Did anybody write it down? Student work. There you go. Okay, so student work. In fact, that's a shortened URL. I'm just being fancy instead of using bit.ly, but there's a free thing called URLs. You can make your own URL shortener. Okay, so when I click that, boom, here we are on our site. Because this is my site, I'm going to sign into it click the pencil, and I'm going to put a link here at the top. Add to our shared notes. Okay? And I'm going to make this a link by pasting in that long link, that long address. And now, if you got to our website initially that I put up there, Student Work, if you click the reload button or the refresh button, now at the very top it says add to our shared notes. You should be able to click on it, and we'll start to see people's links here start to appear. Okay. Now the other thing that I'll do is I'll go ahead and use Google. I feel this is a Google Summit. We got to use all the Google stuff, right? Google has a URL shortener, and one of the neat things that it does for us is automatically create a QR code and track the links, like how many people have clicked on this. So I'm going to paste in this link at goo.gl, shorten the URL, and then when I click details here, oh look how nice that is. Here's a QR code already made for me, which I'll just put up here at the top of our document. So, our question was what, and I'll paste that in, okay? So there's a pasted link. I can copy this image. So now if you have a QR code scanner and you'd like to try to scan that, and what did you hear Shelly describe about sharing student work online? The power of having a shared document for resources. Okay? Everything, hopefully, that we're going to talk about today, you're going to be able to access later.
I'm Shelly.
Here's the link to what Shelly described.
Hey, Wes,
Yes.
would you 1 second, or whenever I guess you're done, show us, kind of recreate that, just the shortener and the...
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right, so when you go to goo.gl, and by the way, okay, please ask questions. Please stop. This isn't a video. This is interactive. We're not online, right? And if we don't leverage the value of the interactive face-to-face, then like why do we get together face-to-face? So I'm glad you asked that question. I'll also say this, having participated in several Google events, these oftentimes feel like a fire hose of information, okay? My wife went with me to Fort Worth to our first Google Summit like this that the EdTech team hosted, and after the first session, she said, Wes, I'm full. And it was session 1. It's going to vary how people present and where they share, but I've just generally felt like just a lot of information. And if you go to the Google Teacher Academy, that's one day in a Google office. I did Boulder, Colorado in 2009. Now they do have food no more than 150 feet away from you all day long that you can access, but still it's just a lot of information. But that is also the benefit of having these links, right? Learning how to share resources, learning how to collaborate together and not just have our notes, have other notes. Okay, the link is goo.gl. This is like tinyurl.com or bit.ly, or what are some other ones you use? We use My Big Campus shortener. It's like MBC short or something. Does anybody use anything else to shorten the link? TinyURL is blocked for students, okay? Bit.ly is blocked for students in our district. But
Really?
they don't have Google goo.gl blocked. I'm just saying, real world,
I know.
you got to think
It's
about
crazy
where you
quick.
are and try. Here's a little tip. I use this all the time for Twitter. Unshort.me unshortens any web address. And so Twitter links, for instance, if I don't bypass the filter, which I can do as a teacher, anyway, that's a way to get around,
Oh, that's special.
what is that shortened link? Okay, so you have to paste in the long web address that you want to shorten here, okay? The way I got that is in the Google Doc. I clicked on my share link, And I specifically, and if you guys will go ahead and type in, just go ahead and put in below here, what did you hear Shelly describe? Because what we're gonna see are people's responses that are being typed in. Oh, it does. Well, isn't that special? Thank you. Yes, look at that. So anyone with the link can view. Okay. So Wes forgot to say anyone with the link can edit. It's actually not a horrible thing I made that mistake, right? Because it's something we're probably going to do ourselves. And generally when I share a link, it is to let other people view it when it's public like that. If I'm making a link for my kids, usually I'm just sharing the document. Okay, now let's try. I said anybody can edit. You might need to reload the page, click on refresh, and now we should be able to see some people. What happens here is you end up kind of competing to get a line, and it'll be a little bit crazy as different people are putting stuff in. And sometimes it's handy to have a different color. There's other tools I actually like even better than this, but it works. How many of you have Google Apps for your students? They can log in. Okay, bless you. We don't have that yet for our kids. So I'm using different Google tools, but my students can't log in with their own Google accounts. Okay, let's have a few folks share. We'll start in the back. Would someone at one of our back tables share? What was something you guys heard in that video about sharing student work? Somebody at one of our back tables. You can volunteer your name, or you don't have to speak yourself. Just tell us who you are and where you teach and something you heard in the video. In Bristow? Okay. Sherry's in the back in Bristow. Sherry, what did you hear? What did you hear in the video about sharing student work?
Just the ways of doing it, like the blogging.
Okay. Using.
That's something I'm wanting to start doing in my class. We've done just the spiral notebook, the ongoing journal.
Okay.
And I'm wanting to start blogging. I just haven't started it yet.
Okay. And that's really where we're going to go first, because I look at that as the foundation of the house. Every idea gets better with feedback. Okay? Parents or principal ask you, why are you doing this? Why are you setting up a blog? Well, number one, our kids need to write better. Have you seen our kids write? You want to come see my kids write? Scary. Okay? They don't write that much at school. They need to, I'm just talking about ours. Yours may. But ours don't. And they need to write more. I don't agree that they have to put everything out publicly, but they need to have feedback. And so learning how to write safely for a public audience in order to get feedback is an important thing, and that's really where we're going first. Besides Kid Blog, would anybody else, I won't just pick on your row, anybody else want to share? What else did you hear her talk about besides Kid Blog? Yes?
I have a question.
Okay.
How am I anonymous? You and someone else are known. How do that might be just a question. How am I not anonymous? Like,
How are you not anonymous?
Yeah.
When you log in with your Google account,
Yes.
you should, it should know who you are for this document.
It doesn't.
It doesn't? Yeah, it is, isn't it? It gave you all different animals.
Except for you and another lady, it wasn't shared with us personally. It was
Okay.
generic.
So if I had shared it with you personally, and that's what Google Classroom and some tools can facilitate, making that faster. So if I knew your email address and I shared that with you, then in the revision history, when we take a look at who edited what, it would tell us, oh, Sherry typed the line helpful for reflection, lets the kids see their work.
And with this, can you see who they are? Like if we
The
were to
way
do
that I
this-
have done this now, no. But this is the only way I could do this with my own students, because my own students don't have their own Google accounts. So the best way to do this with students would be to say share, and then be able to choose my class, and I share it directly with them and their email addresses.
But I kind of like this because then the other kids can't see who's sharing. You know what I'm saying?
Correct, yeah. So the comment up here was, there's positives to anonymity. Now, I'll say this.
So they don't make fun of each other.
Until this year, okay, let me get everybody's attention. That's okay. Until this year, I had never done an open text chat with elementary kids where we didn't blow it within 2 minutes with something inappropriate. I heard someone say the other day, and please take this the right way, that sometimes when we're working with kids, this is like about having your bluff, but you kind of need to shoot a hostage quickly to let them know you're serious. So maybe I'm getting better at that, you know, because when we did Minecraft this time, and we talked about, so everyone will be able to see your text message on the server. So what would happen if one of you decided to write some profanity? We had this longer discussion about that. And I didn't have anybody blow it right away. But there's some benefits to anonymity. We need to talk about digital citizenship. We talk about accountability. On Minecraft, EDU, for instance, or in other text chat environments, with kids, I have them put in their real name. We use today's meet, and that's something that Holly almost used this morning in her keynote. And I require them to use their real first name. If they put a different name in, but your point is well taken. That when kids have an opportunity to put something in and you don't know who it is, you're going to see different things, okay? So let me give voice to some of the comments that have been put into our text document.
Can I say something about using, if your students all have their own Google accounts?
Yes.
My favorite is to just go show them the revision history and how I can see who made every single change.
Okay. And what's your name?
Tiffany.
Tiffany. Okay.
And
So
it's pretty effective.
So Tiffany has just pointed out, that we have a revision history that we can see, and if I had shared this with everyone's individual account, then you would be able to see all the changes that people have made here, and who made them and when they made them. I can open up another document really quick that has more.
She gave us a suggestion yesterday.
Uh-huh.
To use Screencastify.
Right.
Screencast, tell them, we are screencasting this.
Right.
To post, and it gives them accountability. Like, you don't want to be the one being embarrassed.
Right. Yeah. It's called perceptions of accountability, right? When you believe someone is watching, sometimes you will operate differently than if you think you're operating in the dark and no one can see you. So next weekend and more, we've got over 400 people registered for EdCamp OKC. So excited. If you're not coming, come. We have like 50 slots left. This is the revision history for that document. So you can see when Tammy, when Andrea, when Ann, when all these different people edited these things. And if I want to go back in time to that version, I can click. I'm not going to restore it, but you can see exactly what changes people made and what they've added. Okay. So I want to give voice to some of these comments, because that's one of the best things about using digital writing. You can extend the opportunities we have to share ideas, and you can give voice to students who might not raise their hand, or maybe they didn't have the idea in class at that time. So, digital books, commenting on people's work. I'm so excited. My wife's this is the first time I've heard of this. They've actually mobilized their parent volunteers for Positive Tomorrows to not only come mentor kids and read with them in person, but to comment on their blogs. So their kids have parents and other community volunteers, I say parent volunteers, but most of them are community volunteers who are writing comments onto their posts, okay, that they're sharing. Helpful for reflection, lets kids see their own work, pride, and man, digital collaboration. I don't know about your school, but at ours, I don't think we have a single, digitally collaborative project going on at all. And it's me too, right? I don't think, I'm not, besides blogging, which we're doing, okay, and besides having parents come see our work, like we're not doing a classroom mystery Skype, or we're not doing something where we're working with another class in another place. Oh my gosh, we need to be doing that, right? It's engaging for students, but there's also so many different important skills that kids learn when they're interacting online and when we're having comments and we're talking about it. All right, let's take a look at some links. On our document for today, we just looked at this first video. I've also got a poll that I'd like to share with you, and I don't know, it's 10:30. I don't think I'm actually going to do it right now. I'm just going to show you the results from Tuesday. I was in Wichita, Kansas. I usually do 2 professional development days a month. And it's nice that this is Saturday and Sunday, so I get to do some more this month. The question I asked was, what do teachers fear most about sharing student work? Being judged for student spelling errors, fear of parent backlash, fear of parent criticism, getting sued, parent jealousy of their child not being represented, students making mistakes. Will parents take the time to view the work? What I think is impressive might not be that impressive. So those are all responses from a worksheet, from a workshop, just like today, where we're talking about sharing student work. I put that up here because as I try to do this myself in my classroom, and I advocate to try to help more teachers move into this space where we are sharing student work, the fear factor is huge. And I don't think we should ignore it. I think we need to talk about it, and I think we need to find ways to help ourselves and help other teachers overcome it. So, rather than just say that and ignore it, let me give you 60 seconds. Turn to your neighbor, talk about fear of sharing student work, and I'll ask this question. How do you think we can help ourselves and help other teachers overcome that fear? What can we do to overcome that fear to get more comfortable sharing student work? Okay, talk to your neighbor, go.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when there's things that could be yeah. It's like, I mean, it's possible.
Okay, this may be your best takeaway for today, online-stopwatch.com. Actually, it's not a Google product, but I love it because it's free. I don't have to have smartboard software or anything installed on my computer. I just go to the website, click full screen. It has a nice bell. There you go. I use that all the time. That was online-stopwatch.com. In fact, I'll copy that link and I'll paste it into our shared document, right? Because we've got a document of shared notes now. I'm going to add a new question at the bottom. How can we help teachers overcome fears about sharing student work? I'm going to invite you all to type answers, and then we'll get a couple responses too. Okay? Anybody want to share a thought? How can we help teachers overcome this fear? Well, number one, is this fear, does this exist where you live and work? Okay, I see nodding heads. Anybody figure this out? Gotten this figured out? Because let's talk. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for it. Some of it's just like the whole MySpace hype, stranger danger. You know, there are dangers in the world, right? There's dangers online. There's dangers at the mall. I don't let my kids go to the mall by themselves. I don't let my kids post their phone number and our address on the web, right? There's things that we don't do. But anybody share out loud? What's a way you think we can help teachers address this? Say again? Or was that an answer?
Oh, no, it's Connor.
Oh, okay.
Well, I did put her on class.
She wasn't answering. So somebody share out loud?
I just think we need to treat our staff sometimes like they are students. And
Yes.
have them collaborate as you would a class.
Okay.
So that they can get a comfort level from the student level first and then move into.
Okay, Dina. Dina just said we need teachers to be able to be students in a digital classroom so they can get comfortable with how this works. Amen. I agree 100%. Too oftentimes, even at conferences, we're like, oh, you could do this, or you could do this. It's like awareness level only. You know, let's actually do it. You know, because if you haven't taken some kind of a graduate course or certification, some kind of class, been in an online course, you know, done something, even if you have, you may not have used KidBlock. You know, you may not have moderated student posts. All right? Let me address this point. We start in a protected environment, my big campus, so the teachers know it's real world, not the whole world. So I'm torn on this. I do understand and respect that it can be helpful to start in a protected environment that's only for us. But here's the danger. In 2009, we had, I think, about 12 or 15 of our middle schools in Oklahoma get grants to go one-to-one. And Eric, I don't think is going to shoot me for saying this, but one of the biggest tragedies that happened was that they locked up the Ning where all the stuff got shared between those schools. So Eric Howman and the folks at the State Department had set up a Ning, and it was all protected, and guess what? Nobody got to see student work that was shared inside there. Nobody got to participate and see. And so, you know, we've done My Big Campus in our district as well. That's a walled garden where you have to log in. I'm advocating for more open sharing because there's so little of it happening. And I think when we see success, and especially kids get set on fire with excitement for communicating, for writing, for sharing, that's the real power. You know, if you have a kid who's on fire with excitement for learning about whatever, their parents don't ignore that. Their teachers don't ignore that. I'm continuing to try to figure out how to address this, but here's my best answer today. My best answer for this today is, let's look at examples of student work, because I think that's the fruit. The fruit we're going for here is kids creating content with digital tools and analog tools, whatever, a mix, and they show what they know. So I'm going to open up for you this link right below the video we just did. It's a YouTube playlist. How many of you have made a playlist on YouTube before? Okay, here's a great skill to put on your list for today. I'm going to learn how to make a playlist. Why is this important? Well, number one, there's a lot of great content on YouTube. And I have this talk with my kids too. Is there trash on YouTube? No. You bet. There's trash on the web? You bet. Does that mean we're going to block the whole web? Hopefully not, right? Hopefully we're going to allow for the usage of this. We're not going to let outliers, we're not going to let, those kind of situations define what the access we all have. So this is just a simple playlist of 4 videos. I don't have related videos over here on the side. And right now I'm not using any special ad block plugins to block ads or anything like that. This is just how the playlist looks. When I tap play all, it's just going to play through these. And these aren't all my videos. This one is one that Carrie Smith, one of our 5th grade teachers, just did 2 weeks ago as a history dialogue. So I'm going to play these videos. And as we do, if you want, and some people like to do this, some people don't. If you want to put something here into our notes at the bottom, what good things did you see and hear in these student work examples? Okay, that's the question. I'll copy the playlist and I'll just paste it below. Okay, so if you want to do that in the Google Doc while we play, you can, or if you just want to watch, that's fine. But I'm just going to click play all and we'll go through these videos. Okay, total play time on this, 45 seconds. We're not going to listen to the whole hyperbola graph, okay? So I'll fast forward through some of them, but we'll listen to about 30 seconds of each one, and we'll play some of them all the way through.
Hi, my name is Quantum. My name is Jeffries Cartier. My name is John Smith. And we are having an argument about whose land is this.
I should have this land because I was here first.
This land is mine because my king sent me. My king said it's mine, so it's mine.
I was born here, so the land is rightfully mine.
The Star of Champlain said this is my land, so it's my land. This is my land because my country started the first successful colony. It was Jamestown. It was started in 1607.
Since you have came here, you have stolen our land.
Okay, then let us fight for the land. Let the war begin.
Okay, I'm going to pause. Do we have student faces in this?
No.
No. We have student dialogue. Any creativity in this?
Yes.
Yeah. Student expression, verbal communication, hearing themselves record. My new favorite app for the iPad and iPhone, free, is called Voice Record Pro, and it exports as a video that can be in your photo roll on your device, and you can directly publish to YouTube. Why is this a big deal? Because I got to have some place to share. Where am I going to share? KidBlog only gives me about 5 gigs free, and that can fill up pretty quick. I don't even know if it's that much, actually. I don't think it's 5 gigs. It's something small. Okay? So, simple project, but, you know, a lot of work went in before this, right? The kids recorded using the teacher's one iPad that she has personally, and then she published this on her YouTube channel, and now has this linked on her Google site for her classroom. All right, so there's example number 1. Example number 2.
Hey guys. Hello guys. Welcome back to another episode. This time you can hear Madison. This is Dr. Fryer's classroom. This is Andrew, Madison, and Evan talking on today's video. Today's is my birthday. We're basically recording this on the same day that we did about the xylophone episodes. So yeah, it's still my birthday. Absolutely, Evan. Today's his birthday, and we're going to celebrate his birthday today. But I'm talking about that. And also, welcome back. Yay! We have a scientific story for you. Okay, we are talking about these little microphone things. Okay, hit it, Andrew. Well, the cup phones are special type of phones that have certain amount of things. And it's like it makes things louder. Yeah, and so whenever you speak, everything sounds louder. No, it sounds quieter. And you do that. The vibration comes through. It comes through the wire, and the vibration comes through. The vibration comes through the wire or string. Yeah, tell them, Melvin. So we're not doing anything about like that. You can barely.
Okay. Valuable capture of student learning. Did some of these kids get it? Yeah. We had a great window into their learning, right? And I guarantee you in this 25-minute center, which we were doing a kitchen chemistry unit in STEM, if these kids had been asked to write a paragraph about that or even a few sentences, there's no way we would have gotten that depth of window into what are they thinking about the string phone and vibration, and are they getting this idea that sound travels with vibration, okay? Now, that was on a website that now is called Audio Boom. It's an app and a website, and I did a screen capture of it so I could share it as a YouTube video. That's why I like that Voice Record Pro so much, and it's the one I'm kind of shifting to, because I can just put it right on my YouTube channel. All right, example number 3. Anybody math teachers here? Anybody work with math teachers? Anybody struggle finding ways to connect the technology to the math curriculum? So this is my son, I think 2 years ago when he was in Algebra 2 or maybe 3. He's in Calculus now. And he's explaining the hyperbola. We won't listen to the whole thing.
Hello, I'm Alex, and I am going to talk about the hyperbola, the equation, and the graph of it. So first, looking at the hyperbola, it is one of 4 conic sections, and you get these conic sections by intersecting a plane into a...
Okay, I'm going to just stop it there. He talks a lot about, the polynomials and the signs and how we know this is a hyperbola. This is what I would call a narrated photo or narrated art, right? What class could we do this in? Pretty much any class, right? Draw me a picture, talk about it. And asking students to explain their thinking, explain their process is a valuable thing on multiple fronts, not only from the communication standpoint, but also just from the content standpoint, right? Because if you can teach it, if you can explain it, your understanding is at a higher level, and if you are simply answering problems and turning in answers. Okay, last example. This is an ebook from Ms. Moore's
This is a picture of
3rd grade class.
climbing up the beanstalk. He is looking at his house. His mom and cat are looking at him. If you look closely, his mom is waving at him. The caterpillar was so hungry that it ate a lot of food. The next day it was fat. Please, will you give us some of your concrete, Beaver, said the second wolf. Certainly, said Beaver. He gave them buckets full of concrete. Right away, they started building before the big bad pig showed up.
I'm going to fast forward to my daughters. This was my daughter. My youngest is in 5th grade now. This was 3rd grade. I loaned an iPad to her teacher after spring break, Miss Moore, at Quail Creek Elementary.
This is a picture of my 2 favorite characters from Bear Snores On, Badger and Hare.
Mouse is crawling down on the ground and Bear is sleeping. All of the animals are having a party in Bear's den without Bear knowing it. Bear just snores on.
So I'm going to go to the very end and we'll listen to Marcus's. He wraps it up.
Rumble is a mascot for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He does many funny tricks on the fence. Rumble was named mascot on February 12, 2009. He was named after the sound thunder makes.
All right, so that was created on an iPad with Book Creator, and it was exported as a video. Why? Because it's so much easier for parents to see a video today than to have an EPUB link that they have to have an app for, that they have to, click several times for. So, give you another chance to chat with your neighbor. I want you to turn. We just saw 4 different examples of student work. What did you see that was good in those examples of student work? Talk to your neighbor, please. Go. You want some paper? I can give you some paper. I can give you paper. Hang on.
YouTube filter in our district, our kids can't even search.
Okay.
So I'm just wondering, is there a way to get around the filter so they can be more?
Yeah, follow me and mention that. Okay, so before we talk about those answers, a good question about YouTube and access. Our district is part of something called YouTube for Schools, and they've had this up here for a little while as far as the sign-up flow. But what that allows us to do is we have a filtered or whitelisted set of videos that are approved that all students can access. And then for other ones, we have to have a teacher bypass, to be able to play other videos. And I haven't checked or even really talked to our IT department much this year, but they were able to add teacher channels as teachers created channels to that list, so students could, have access to those teacher-created videos and those teacher-created channels. So, what good things did you see in here in these student work examples? Several of you typed in some answers. Students holding each other accountable, taking pride in their work, building community. Teachers that can save those for student growth of fluency. Digital portfolio, showing growth over time, hugely important. Students feeling safe enough to express themselves, and not just feeling safe. Like I'd say Evan and Andrew and Madison are pretty fired up, right? So there's safety, bottom of Maslow, and then we're moving up into creation, and yeah, there's a lot of excitement and engagement. Relationship, giving kids a voice, students being authentic, giving students the power to demonstrate their knowledge creatively, communicating and collaborating. Those are workforce skills. Yes, there are. Okay. And incidentally, I'll drop this link in here. It's on the video, but this is the link where that YouTube video is shared from Ms. Moore's class. It's a YouTube video. It's a PDF. Why? Who gets to read a PDF? Everybody, basically. Okay, it doesn't have the audio, but it has the pictures the kids drew and their text. EPUB is the enhanced version that has the audio. And then the other thing it has, this is really fun, Lulu.com is print on demand. And so converted the book in a PDF to an A5 size PDF and then sent it to Lulu at cost, $12.88 a piece. That's kind of expensive, but why would I, here it is, this is it. You can see it. Why would we even mess with this, okay? I thought we were digital, Wes. Why are you doing this paper stuff? Grandma. And most of these kids didn't have iPads, right? And this can go in the school library. And Ms. Moore, signed a copy for each child and gave it to them at the end of the year. It was awesome.
Is that through Lulu?
This is through Lulu.com. And unlike Vanity Publishing, where you have to order 500 copies and then you figure out how to get rid of them, we ordered 24 copies, and that was it. And if parents wanted to order more, they can. I'll pass that around. Just please return that back to me. That's one of my favorite technology integration projects of all time. Love that one. Okay. I want to slow down a minute. I recognize there is a lot going on here. The examples I'm showing you, many of these have been done with students, with teachers who have been integrating with technology for a long time, okay? I have been using technology with my students since 1996. It was the Laserdisc player. Do you remember Windows on Science? That was my first student teaching demo. Whoa, look at this. I got the Laserdisc player, and we can show you pictures of stuff. Okay. So I recognize a ton is going on. Please, the easiest things for us to do at any technology event like this is, number one, get scared, and number two, be overwhelmed. And you're at a Google Summit. I do not think it's possible for any of us to leave here without feeling a bit overwhelmed, okay? Because there's so much. Google offers so much. And there's so much creativity going on right here in our state, much less the rest of the country and the world, right? We're all about connecting. So I want to slow down and just say, here are 3 sites that are examples of what I'm talking about here in this session. These are, 2 of them are Google sites. Ms. Stephanie Himes is on Wix or Weebly, I think. But look what's after each one of these. The Twitter IDs of each teacher that you can connect to. So how many of you know about Clinton Public Schools and their iPad 1-to-1? Is somebody from Clinton here? Yay! Clinton is rocking. They are awesome. They are doing so many creative things. And so Stephanie Heim is 2nd grade, right? 2nd grade classroom teacher. All right. She's 3rd this year? Okay. And so here's her classroom site. I think this is their official one on their school. And then this, I think I actually may have her class blog from last year. Okay, because yeah, these have the posts. But this is Kid Blog, okay? These are posts that are kid-made. So here Miriam wrote about the Air and Space Museum, okay? She put a picture she drew. We went to the Air and Space Museum yesterday, and she got a couple comments, okay? Same thing here for my wife. Now, that looks a little fancier, but it is a Google site. We've just bought the domain, so it's classroom.shellyfryer.com. Here is her classroom. If we want to go to her kid blog, we can click on this link, and I'll open it in a new tab so that I can go back. And here is Priest's post from 20 hours ago about the jitterbug robots that they just made during Maker Time. And these videos are great. She's got some. I used tape, a cup, a battery, and 2 leads and a motor glue, and a glue stick that was off balance, okay? He actually made a big tower. Let's see some. Here's Heaven's jitterbug. Okay, these are little DC motors that hook up to a button battery, and you stick a glue stick, sort of cattywonker on it, so like a dryer that's off balance that shakes and bumps. These just jump around, and they're jumping all over the classroom. I don't. If I want to see other things that Heaven has posted, I can click right here on the side. All right, and I can see the other things that she's written. All right, I commented on her blog Tuesday from Wichita. I recommend that you start with interactive writing. And you do not have to start off with Kid Blog, but you can create a Kid Blog for free. It is a place where not only you as the teacher, but students as well can log in, can post information, they can post text, and they can receive feedback. All right? All right. One, I don't have the link to this, but last year, okay, Shelly School is K5. They had a first grader writing a comment back to the 5th grade student and said, "I love you." Okay, I mean, it was so sweet. I mean, all of the stuff that goes on in here is moderated. What does that mean? Well, I helped Shelly set this up, so I'm on here too. And so I can log in. And when I click on Control Panel, I can see what's been going on. There's 29 pending comments right now that need approval. There's 1 pending post. And so before these comments go on, nice, I like dogs too. Frozen is a good movie. You think I should fix the spelling on that before I approve it? No. I don't think so. Okay? Students can go in when they're logged in and they can approve it. Was that a repeat, actually? May have been. Okay, but we could. So we try in our classroom to get beyond these kinds of comments, right? What's that? The smiley? So I'm going to leave that and I'll let Shelly decide if she wants to approve that one or not. With the teachers I've done, this coaching with as we work on interactive writing, our agreement usually is if I have a question about it, I just leave it, okay? But it's helpful sometimes to have more than one person looking at it and approving stuff.
I have a question.
Yes.
This wouldn't be something that you would want to use for more of like a current discussion. You wouldn't want people responding to questions above it because you wouldn't necessarily be able to respond to it right away.
Right. Like what we were just doing with the Google Doc is more of a live back channel, and I think that's a little different than the blog. However, it all starts with interactive writing, and so just you posting and having your kids comment is a great first step in moving in that direction. Okay? So I acknowledge there's a lot going on here, but here's the good news, and I'll try to bring this in for a landing in our last 2 minutes. Are we almost out of time? No, we have 4 minutes. I'll answer some questions. But let me say this first. Google Sites, free. Kid Blog, yes, you can end up paying for more features. I have not, well, I guess I paid for one graduate class thing that I did, but the one that we just looked at, free, no charge. Some things are worth paying for, by the way. And we're looking at doing Kid Blog school-wide through a grant next year at our school. I did put a link to my classroom site, which is stem.westfryer.com. So these are all the resources for my STEM classroom. Here's all the lessons that we did last year and this year. I can click on 5th grade, and here's all the kid blogs. And here's the most recent posts, okay, that kids have written. And I can go to Ms. Hoagie's class. She's a teacher who is using this with her kids. And I can see, once this loads up, the most recently approved posts as well as comments that students have written on our kid blog. Okay, Annabelle was bored and she wrote something.
This has probably already been asked, but how do you monitor who gets onto the blog?
All right, so Kid Blog allows you to set, by default, it's set up private. So it's only the kids that log in. And by the way, this was created by a former 5th grade teacher in Chicago. They now do this full time, and it's based on WordPress. There's a lot of different tools you can use. I have our blog set up public so that anyone can see them, but everything's moderated that gets posted. That means the kids, when they say submit, it doesn't go live right away. I have to approve it before it's visible. And the same thing with all the comments. Just like I was showing you, you have to go through the comments and approve them. So we've chosen to set ours up publicly. But when you first set one up, it's private, and only the people who are logged in can. You have to make a choice to say, I'd like anybody to be able to view it. And that's a choice for you. It's not a wrong thing to have your kid blog or whatever site you choose set up private. It's just so hard to get parents to come see anything online that I've found the more barriers I put up, the harder it is for parents. We had parents that were deployed to Iraq, that were able to comment on their students' work. That wouldn't have probably happened if we had, a lot more barriers that were up there, okay? So, on our page with these resources, I have a couple other videos. There's a link, maybe somewhere.
To comment on the videos when it's public, anybody can comment, but you moderate the comments.
That is
right?
correct. Well, and you can change it, but I have it set where I even moderate my students' comments. Even though we'll know who they are when they log in, the last thing we want is for something, because it would blow up, right? Just like a fight video at your cafeteria or your gym, or those things blow up and they get amplified. I recommend always having moderation turned on. So that means there's a lot to moderate, but hopefully it also means we don't have a real negative social media situation around our kid blog, okay? Over on the sidebar of this website, I want to point out that there are some other sessions, and there's also this whole page that says interactive writing. And I've recently changed my book from Mapping Media to the Common Core to show what you know with media, okay? So whatever the politicians do with our standards, I don't care. Well, I do care. But, like, okay, that's not going to be affecting me now with my book title. And this is really, this tells what I'm about, like, professionally as a professional development person. I want teachers and students to use media to show what we know. And so on this website, you are going to find a workflow, a definition, tools, Kid Blog, Blogger, Blogmeister, Today's Meet, Google Docs, different tools that you can use. And then here's the best part, examples, right? Maybe I'll close with this. This was, I think, 2 years ago. This was in 2012, 3 years ago in Yukon. All right, we set up a website. We called it the Learning Showcase. Let's showcase. Does athletics get showcased a little bit, you think, in our community, in yours? Yeah. Let's showcase learning, okay? And let's try to really amplify this. And so here's Cooper's 6th grade English post. What is a champion? All right. Here's Ms. Callison's reply. Cooper, you've done an outstanding job. This is the kind of work. But what's below this? Cooper, you've been a champion in many sports. Your hard work and dedication has paid off. But more important than sports is the fact that you are a champion at heart and a champion as a person. Keep it up, Hammer. Dad. Big deal or little deal? So I never talked to Cooper or his dad, but I'm guessing it's a big deal because Cooper's dad has just publicly recognized him, in a space, not for an athletic thing that he's done. Well, he does, I guess, said athletics, but I mean, it's also that is for his heart and for him as a person. It's a way for parents to be more engaged and more involved in what's happening in school, right? And if Robert Marzano taught us anything in classroom instruction that works, we knew this before, but parent involvement is important, right? Time on task is important. They all impact student achievement.
I'm a football coach, and on Thursday nights we have a game face mask and a practice face mask. And the coaches didn't want to change them out every Thursday, so we invited the dads to come up and change those masks. Then we gave them paper and pencil to write the kids' notes. You cannot believe how many people were writing notes to their son and putting in the lockers. And then the dads noticed that other dads weren't showing up, so they were writing other kids' notes because they didn't want them to be left out. It was an amazing thing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Kids love
and words matter, right? That's a huge lesson to give our kids. Your words matter. You never know what somebody has walked through that day before they came into class or they came into practice. Just the greeting that you have for them, that, man, I'm glad to see you. Or the comment that you write, or you text, or all the ways that we share can be really important and powerful. All right? So, closing thought, I think I'm 3 minutes over. I can't tell you, honestly, don't be overwhelmed because you will be today, okay? It's just going to happen. But I can tell you this. We've never lived in a better day to be connected to each other, to learn together, and to be inspired by each other. And the work that your kids create and that you share online is going to resonate in your community far more than any of the examples I've shown you from UConn or Positive Tomorrows or anything else. Because your parents and your administrators and your other teachers, they're going to pay attention to your kids differently than they do these other kids, other places. So please share and connect and enjoy the day. Thank you guys so much. I think we've got about 30 minutes before the next session.